Alrighty, folks, it's been a minute. Left you guys hanging, but I'm back with a new album review, and the album is Sabire. I knew I was going to have glare issues with this thing. Look how dark that is. You can't even tell what's on that cover. The band is called Sabire. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And the album is called Jatt, and I believe that's how you say that. There are some ill-advised umlauts in both the band title, band name, and the album title. There's the back. I'll take this out of the case. That's not going to help with the back, but it's a little better. And then there's the back. That's not going to help much there. But see, the album title's written in Rune. And it spells out J-A-T-T, but I believe that's pronounced Jatt. And I did not bother to look up what it meant. So anyway, these guys, it's mainly a guy named, his name is Scarlett Monastyrski. It's his band. He started off in Canada in 2010, and then after a couple years moved to Australia, and that's where they're based out of now. This is their first full-length debut. They did release an EP in 2018, I believe, and then they've had several singles come out. They actually even released a live album digitally this year, but I don't believe that has come out on physical copy yet. So anyway, first things first, these guys call themselves acid metal, which I believe is a term they created to try and make themselves sound groundbreaking and unique. But really, there's a lot of rehashed glam here. I mean, it's definitely done with a modern twist, but they get a lot of comparisons to Wasp. That's kind of to my ears, it's more in the rhythm guitar playing. Some of the slower numbers maybe have a Wasp thing going on. The lead guitar work reminds you a lot of Rat, early Rat. And the singer reminds you a lot of early Great White, like the first Great White album, not Rock Me Great White, the debut. And I mean, it is played at a little heavier pace. And there's some unique things they're doing with production, which I'm going to get into, because the first thing, when you start listening to this album, the first thing that's going to hit you is the production. I know this is the sound that they're going for, and it's probably the production that they're using to generate their acid metal sound, but it is not a very good sound, in my opinion. It sounds like it was recorded in a tunnel, and 9 times out of 10, when the singer is singing, it sounds like he's singing at the front of the tunnel, and the drummer and the band is at the back of the tunnel. When he's basically singing, all you can hear is just the basic drum beats, and that's about it. And then when he stops singing, then you hear the band, which, for lack of a better term, is a wall of sound, but it's not a Phil Spector wall of sound. It's just all blended together. There's really no discernible instrumentation going on, like I said, outside of the drummer, which you can just hear his basic drum patterns. So it's quite I think it works on some songs, but I don't think it works on others. Because like I said, the band is way in the background when he's singing, And when he's singing, there's a lot of echo and reverb in his voice. So that kind of drowns out the band too. So, it's also a very long album. This album is 69 minutes long, 15 tracks, and it outstays its welcome, in my opinion. It starts off there, and they do have more influences than just Wasp and Rat and Great White, which I'm going to mention here. The first song is called Pure Fucking Hell, and it starts off, and it's speedy. It could have easily been a midnight track. There's another one at the end called Rip Rip Kill, which is basically the last song, and it's also got the lyrics and the speed of a midnight song. The only thing that's different here is the singing. Then it goes into Ice Cold Lust, which is where you start hearing the Wasp guitars and the Great White vocals. I'm a Rock follows that up, and it's got more of that Great White sound going on. The fourth song is called Just a Touch of Acid, and this song actually starts off a lot like Motorhead's Emergency, and it's even got a rattle in it, like a shaker rattle, like Shoot You in the Back. There is a little Blackie Lawless here in the vocals in this track. So we're 4 tracks in. Like I said, Pure Fucking Hell is a good way to kick off. Ice Cold Lust is a pretty good song. I'm a Rock, Just Touch of Acid, they're okay. And then you get a couple more songs, and then it goes into, I forgot to mention that the album starts off with a 3.5 minute intro, which is basically just synthesizer and some spoken word, but it's 3.5 minutes long. Then after like 7 songs, you get it's called the Center. It's called the River (parentheses Center), and it's almost 3 minutes long. Now it's actually not bad. Excuse me. It's got some acoustic guitar, and the vocals are like buried in the background. The spoken word is buried in the background. Excuse me. But it actually is a good defining point, because you start getting to the second half of the album, and the second half of the album, this album's actually backloaded. So the first song after the River is called The Last Day, and it's kind of got a cult guitar intro. It's got some bouncy synthesizer in it, and here the echo in the vocals actually works because the guitars are kind of open. So it actually works here, and they work on the next song, which is called Toxic Man. And this song actually they bring in like some Depeche Mode drum beats from like Personal Jesus, but it works. It's got good guitar. I'm gonna say it's got the echo again, but the entire album has the echo. But on these 2 songs, it actually works a lot better. Your Rending Hand is the next tune. It's got some good buzzsaw guitar going on in there, but like I said, all of it's buried. It's not out front. But there's good buzzsaw guitar, or kind of waspish guitar going on in this one. You can actually hear the bass guitar on this one. Then it's followed up with Chain Down, which it's got a little rat in there. My notes are almost as hard to read as this album cover, or the back album. Can you read that? Nobody can read that. Which is why I had to write so much down, because I can't read those. I can't read anything on there. I can barely read it says side 1. I'm not even sure it says side 1. It may say CD 1. I think it's got probably says side 1 because there's only one CD. And then The Shadow in My Heart is like a ballad. But it's the last song, Chained Down, too. It starts off good with the like rat guitars and stuff, but it's 7 minutes long. It's way too long. And then you get to this ballad, and it's like 6 minutes long. And like the first 3 minutes of it's kind of cool. It's just vocals and acoustic guitar, but then it speeds up at the end, and it really doesn't work. It just extends the song out longer than it needs to be, much like this review. But that's another drawback on this album, besides the production, is this album is just too damn long. It's almost 70 minutes long. And if you take out the intro, the river, and the outro, that's almost 10 minutes worth of just spoken word stuff that doesn't even need to be in there. I mean, I realize that they're trying to be avant-garde, they're trying to be new, and they're trying to put a new spin on old stuff and claim that it's new, but it's really not. But those three things, those three instrumental parts with the spoken word, they're 10 minutes long. Those could be taken out, and now you've dropped the album from 69 minutes to 59 minutes. And it's still 59 minutes, but it's not 10 minutes of fluff. So I think there's really, and then that leaves you with 12 songs. I think you could easily get rid of another 3 and have this as a 9-song album, and it would easily be an 8, even with the production issues. Because like I said, on some of the songs, the production, the echo, the reverb, the wall of sound, for lack of a better term, actually works, but a lot of times it doesn't work. Especially not for 69 minutes. It doesn't work. It gets to be a little tedious on the ears. Like I said, your first listen, it's going to take you a minute to adjust, because I was at the halfway point of the album, and I'm like, holy smokes, I don't know if I can take any more of this production. It's driving me crazy. But your ears eventually get used to it. And it's an artistic choice, obviously, but I think for the next album they should let a producer come in and rein back the artistry of Scarlett Monastyrski and steer him in a proper direction. Because I do think the band's got an upside to it. I'd be interested to hear what they do going forward. I think I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I want to give it a 7 out of 10 because of the production and the length. But there's 9 solid tracks in here, and I think that warrants a 7.5. So I'll leave a link in the description. Hopefully they have a Bandcamp link. I forgot to look. Sabire, let me try and get that up closer for you so you can actually see it. Sabire. We got the little umlauts on the I. And the album is called Jatt, I believe. Alrighty. Like I said, if you guys have heard this album, let me know what you think. I've seen people give this 10 out of 10. I've seen people give it 3 out of 10. The reviews have been all over the place. Although, I do think the guy who gave it 10 out of 10 was from Australia. And if I didn't say that's where these guys are from, they started off in Canada and then moved to Australia. The lead singer did. He took the band and the band name with him. All right, folks, have a good one.